everyone, and welcome back. By popular demand, I have my friend Liam over here, and we're doing another episode of Let's Cook. Today we have the cod with vegetables and caper sauce. And Liam and I are going to attempt to make this dish according to the recipe that we were sent by Let's Cook, but we're also going to make our own version of it as well.
Yeah, that's right. So we're going to try and do it two ways. So there's the version that comes with the recipe, but then there's another way we can show you as well in case you're just super busy.
Yes, we're going to start off by opening the box and looking at what's inside.
Dun, dun, dun.
Let's see. So we've got leeks here and garlic.
Yeah.
We got some carrots.
Those are carrots.
And we've got some beetroot.
Brussel sprouts.
And Brussel sprouts and potatoes, caper and lemon sauce, and it's a creamy sauce. And of course we have the fish. We've got cod fish today. So we're going to start by peeling our vegetables and cutting up the leeks. I'm going to be peeling the carrots right now.
And I'm just doing ring slices of leeks because it helps them cook quicker, and it's very nice when you do it as a bed of vegetables as well. I do this recipe two ways. So we're going to do one way where there's going to be the vegetable bake, as Sarah was talking about it, and then the other way we're going to do it sort of known as en papillon, which is basically inside of kind of like a bag, and it creates a nice head of steam. And if you're someone who just wants to cook everything in one spot, get it out really quickly, and then you can actually present the whole bag on the table if you want at the end and just burst it open and people see the steam and they smell all the food and everything that's been cooked together. It's a bit dramatic and actually works quite well and super convenient.
The more drama the better.
More drama the better.
So Liam, what kind of baking sheet are we going to use with this?
So just your I would say a normal kind of baking sheet that you'd use maybe for cookies or things like that. This one's just a very small one with a lip on the side, and it's a non-stick sheet, so that's really important when you put vegetables have a bit of oil on them in the roasting pan. And I'm just doing kind of like wedges of Brussels sprout now. You just want to trim a little bit of the edge off, and then cut them in half, and then cut them in quarters. And I'm saving the beetroot for last, because if anyone's ever cooked fresh beetroot before, they know that you get this like very red stain on your fingers. It's actually, a lot of people have gloves these days, and it might be a good idea to use gloves as well. So if you're the kind of person who doesn't want stained fingers when you're cooking beetroot, best to keep a pair of gloves around.
Hey, buddy!
Alright,
Okay.
let's resume.
Okay. An easy way to crush garlic is just take the blade of your knife, put it over the top of the garlic, and then confidently take your hand and just do that, and it crushes the garlic out for you. So that's a really easy way of taking the skin off of garlic. Fresh beetroot is a useful thing, but it's also a very nasty thing. And it might be a good idea to have gloves. I'm not wearing gloves, but what you do is you've got your root vegetable like this. That's the top of the vegetable, where if you want to buy chard or things like that, that's where it normally comes sort of sprouting out. And you just take the top of the beetroot off, right? And that reveals this very red, purple, mulberry type colour that's in the middle. You just take a normal, you could go around this with a knife, or you just take this with a normal peeler and you just start peeling around the skin. It's like a potato, it's just a big red potato. Very earthy, quite sweet, roasts up very nicely. It's good with olive oil and balsamic vinegar in particular. And you just keep going round and round and round the beetroot.
Alright, so now what we're going to do is take all the vegetables and put them onto the tray, just like this. And I'm just going to add salt and pepper onto this. So I'm going to start with a little bit of pepper, a little salt, some olive oil.
Yeah. Sarah's just incorporating everything together, making sure the vegetables are nice and coated, and then
looks like a rainbow.
Yeah, exactly. And then spread them out evenly on the tray. The reason you do that is because that way the heat applies to all the vegetables evenly. So this is going to be a different method. This is known as cooking inside of a bag or cooking on papillons. And with that, we're going to layer some of the vegetables, then we're going to add the fish on top and season them. And the whole idea is that you present the bag back at the table to people, and then they burst open, they get that wonderful hit of steam, and they smell all the fish and the vegetables that have cooked cooked all at the same time with the garlic and everything. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your potatoes you probably cut into slices like this in your beetroot, and you're going to lay them down on the tray. And I'm just going to put some of the beetroot down too at this level. And actually, as a tip, you want to sort of season along the way. So my suggestion is, as you put those things down, you hit it with a little hit of salt like this, you hit it with a little hit of pepper as well, and then a little bit of your virgin olive oil, but not necessarily extra virgin olive oil. And then you add some of your leeks, and we're going to add a bit of garlic as well. Add your fish. So I would take one of the nice planks of fish that they have here and layer it over the top, and add some of the Brussels sprouts around the side. You don't necessarily want to layer those, and then some of the carrots around the side as well. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit more garlic to the top because I'm a fiend for garlic. It's the sort of thing that I love. And then you take a second sheet of parchment, you add it over the top, they should match. And what you're doing is you're essentially folding along the way and you're bringing it together. So as you do that, you fold and then you straighten, fold and straighten. And you just go around. And it will look at the end almost like a phyllo pastry parcel. So for those of you who like phyllo pastry dishes, sort of Greek dishes, you'll end up with something like this. And I've completely sealed it, but if you wanted to add a bit of liquid in at the end or something like that, you can do that if you wanted to add a bit of stock or some other kind of liquid in order to flavor it.
So Liam, what are we doing now?
So now we're going to season up the cod, right? So this is really easy. So now we're going to put the fish inside of the pan, away from yourself, always. So we've adapted the recipe a little bit. So what we're going to do is we've actually saved some of the garlic and the leeks that we had from the box, and we're going to add that into the pan now with the fish. So we're going to take some of the leeks first and just shred those round. And they will start cooking with the fish. And we're going to add some of the garlic as well in there too. We're just going to check the fish again here. It's a nice color. We're just going to quickly turn it over like this. Quickly turn it over like that. We're going to take some little bits of butter as well. It might even be a good idea to add that here around the leek. Tilt the pan to the side. And start putting that on top of the fish. And that starts basting your fish. So what are we doing now?
So basically what we have is the vegetable tray over here, and we've cooked our fish. I'm just going to take these vegetables, put them in here, put the fish on top of it, and then just garnish it with a little bit of leeks.
Sounds wonderful. So just to remind everybody, we took the vegetables here and we put them inside of a tray with a little bit of salt and pepper and olive oil. That went in the oven on 180 for about 30 to 40 minutes inside of that tray bake. Okay, so this was the second way that we did the cod fillet. What we did was we put all the vegetables that you saw before inside of this parchment paper, and it's been baking all together inside of the oven. And what you do is you just take your knife, pierce the paper, cut it open, and there's everything inside that's been cooking away nicely and slowly. What I like to do is I like to get if you don't have a fish slice, then just get a nice spatula and lift that nice layer of potato and beetroot that you had before, and you put that onto your plate just like so. And then remember, the dish comes with a lemon caper sauce, which we're going to add over the top for people. And people who like creamy sauces should like this.